All right. Hey, good morning, everybody. Glad to have you on. Glad to be with you. Glad you're with me. Let's see. We got, I don't know, it's Tuesday. It's hot off the press. We got a great show lined up. One of our favorites on the line with us. I'm going to unmute her mic. I'm going to drop this out of here. And boom, let me pull her in. 1, 2. There she is.
Hey everybody,
Good
what's
morning.
up?
Good morning. Holly is driving to the doctor's office today, actually, or therapist or physical therapist, right? So,
Yeah, I
yeah,
just
good
got
for
here,
you.
just pulled in.
Yeah, very good. So she just landed, which is nice. So she didn't have to do it while she was driving. It looks sunny there. It looks beautiful sunny in Wisconsin today.
It is sunny.
That's nice.
Is
Very
that
nice.
is that my speaker? Is that your speaker? I can hear.
I hear you. I don't know. You sound fine. I don't know what you're listening to, but
Let me see. When I talk, okay, it's fixed now. When I was talking, I could hear myself, so it's
oh,
fixed.
okay. All right. There you go. There you go. Let's see. All right. So, hey, folks, if you got any questions for Holly, throw them up in the chat. We will get them up there. And there we go. And let's see. I think that's all that I got. Oh, I should always, Craig always tells me, like, dude, you never tell people to like your video or subscribe. I'm like, okay. Yeah, I'm kind of not mindful about that. So go ahead, like the video, subscribe. Would appreciate it. That would be great. All of that fun stuff. All right. So Holly, how you been? What's going on? What's the world? How's it treating you?
It's good. It's good. It's we got a new park model. We're still camping for another couple months. We're loving it out
Yeah.
here. It's the digital nomad. I wouldn't change it for anything. Work
Yeah. Yeah.
anywhere at any time, whenever you want. You know,
Yes.
the camper in the tent, whatever. So yeah, loving it.
Yeah. So Holly, so when Holly says camper, folks, you gotta keep in mind this thing. She gave me a tour of it here a few minutes ago before we went live. This thing is like gorgeous. I mean, it's beautiful and it's got a loft. I mean, this thing is like, all right, this is not really camping. This
I
is
mean, you're at the campground and we have fires.
Yeah, so you're at a campground.
So
You got a
it
beautiful
is camping.
screened-in porch. You've got, and so you're kind of it's more glamping, glamour camping, glamping than real
This is true.
camping. Yeah.
This is true.
And I know where you have a part where you've got like a pool and everything, right? Because I think I've seen photos
Yes.
of you by a pool hanging out. All right, so that's good. So anyway, so you're out at the camp, you're got the new digs, you're camping, and you're doing, still doing some good SEO, some good kind of stuff. Right before we went live as well, Holly and I were talking about, and I think maybe even mentioned this last time you were on the show. I can't remember, but we were talking about podcast and podcasting, and have kind of dug in over the last few months as well around podcast and helping to promote and do some podcast services for folks. I don't know if you want to touch base on that, some of the cool stuff you've been doing or can do for folks. I don't if you want to feel like you want to touch on that.
Yeah, so I think I've been doing the podcasting stuff for about 3 years because I think Randy is around the time that I met you was when I first started doing podcasting. Um, Totally a different way. Before we would just use like the cell phones, and to
Right,
try
right.
to make the presence on Spotify and or
I have a
sorry, not
question.
yeah.
Even before you get too deep into that, do you still do stuff with the cell phones? Are you still the crazy lady carting cell phones around?
Yeah, actually in my trunk right now I have probably like 300 cell phones. Yeah. I mean, cell phones as an SEO and in general, like if you can't move something or you can't move a map or you need more
Right.
traffic, cell phones is the quickest way because I can control the amount of traffic and I can control, bounce rate and stuff like that. And what I want them to click on certain things. So if I can't get the audience to do that, I have my cell phones that I can do it basically. So it is definitely time consuming. We have
Right.
trained people to do it and stuff like that, and I've mailed my networks to many different people all over the states to help out and stuff like that. For podcasting in particular, over the last 3 years, though, we've only been able to use cell phones.
Right, right.
Yeah, and now with AI, that has really opened up different options for us. So we can, and before we could only do Apple podcasts, right? So now with AI, we can do
Yeah, yeah,
Spotify, we can do iHeart, we can do
yeah.
all of the big platforms and stuff like that. So it's nice for the people that care about presence and brand versus downloads. We can serve you
Right,
downloads, as many downloads as you want, right? But if you don't
right,
have your brand out there and you're not getting legitimate viewers, I'm only going to do a certain amount of work for you before you're going to be like, it's not, spending $500 a month, but I'm not making $500 a month. Well, yeah, because they're not real viewers. So if we
right.
put you on the front page of the big platforms, you're going to get the viewers, and then it's it kind of works out that way. So
Yeah, and
yeah.
then you get on to the whole monetization of it at that point, all different. And depending upon, whether they come onto your site and engage and buy something off of your site, or if you just want to monetize the podcast itself. There's a
Yeah,
lot
so
of ways
I'm kind
to
of
do
doing
that.
something cool with that, Randy. You might be totally get into this. So we're building podcasts for brands. So say you have a brand, a legal brand, and we make the podcast an Apple Podcast as itself, an Apple Podcast URL will rank on generally the first page for the brand, right? So just
Hmm,
for brand awareness alone, it's amazing.
hmm,
But you can actually make podcasts for many people's brands, use AI to make the podcast, and then sell that podcast to that brand. And it's already all done. The episodes are there. You can pre-make episodes,
right,
whatever.
right.
Um, so I have a couple that I've already sold, for like, excuse me. So I've sold a couple for $5,000, which it's not a huge amount. But like, it's an interesting way of doing monetization. So I just create it for them.
Yeah,
I present it to the brand. They are super happy now. They have a podcast. They have more spots on the front page, and they're getting traffic. You know, it's
yeah,
kind of
yeah,
cool.
yeah. That's very clever, actually. And so you say, well, I sold it for 5K, but heck, if you could do a few of those and drop those, one or two a
Yeah,
month, that's not too bad, right? So it's nice, nice job.
yeah. I mean, we're doing
That is
some
clever.
marketing ones now, so we're just gonna offer them to
Yeah,
marketing groups and stuff like that. See what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
See what happens.
yeah, yeah. By the way, folks, go ahead and drop any questions into the chat. We'll get them in here for you. And I am going to, so I'm going to throw up your link to your store if anybody wants to connect and do some podcasting work. I think you've got some services up there that they can connect with you on your store, right? So I'll throw that up
Yeah,
there for you. All right.
yeah.
And by the way, folks, definitely throw your questions on here because Holly does have a PT appointment, and so this is not going to be an hour-long show. I think we might get 40 minutes out of her before she has to duck in there. Through your conversation thus far, you've been a common thread or kind of weaving through there, and I know you just had an AI conference out in Chicago. Was it last month? Was it June or July? I can't remember. June.
It was the
Um,
end of June.
yeah, because I was
Yeah.
traveling, I couldn't get out to it. Uh, Talk to us about it. What kind of cool, super secret that you can share, right? I know. But
Yeah.
any
It was
tidbits
awesome,
of
Randy.
info that you could share, though?
Yeah, it was awesome. So we ended up getting about 50 people coming in, which I was really happy with. Um,
Nice. That's a
the
nice sized group,
speakers,
right? So not
it
huge,
was,
but
it
large
was,
enough to, like, get a lot of good different conversations going? Yeah, nice.
yeah. So none of the speakers did the same topic. So we all had, I think I had maybe 10 speakers. They all had different topics, and they never did a presentation at mine that they did at someone else's, right? Because it was AI. So if you're doing SEO, that's okay, but you have to bring in AI in it. So it was very strictly about AI. It was really good. Like, we started off with Tristan Goodwin, and he was like, I mean, he the guy always melts my brain whenever I talk to him. He was doing stuff with avatars with YouTube, and he has a
Yeah.
process to, if you make avatars, before AI, it would take you a long time, right? It would take you probably a month to make avatar. With AI, it'll take you an hour and a half. So he was showing us how to do avatars and doing stuff with really cool with YouTube tricks. And then Chad was our next speaker, and he taught us some really cool stuff with Reddit stories and making these crazy, stupid looking videos with Midjourney and automated audio, and people are just going crazy over watching them. So if you just go to Google or YouTube in your free time, just type in Reddit stories, you'll see a bunch of them. You see what I mean?
Nice.
We had David, who was doing local scripts. So he was doing some stuff with pulling reviews. Not making the reviews, but pulling the reviews and rewording them and pulling that type of stuff for content wise on your website. We had, I mean, I don't even remember all my speakers. Yeah, it was 2 days. We had people from Denmark, from Europe, from Croatia. Clemen was there.
Croatia. Yeah. Clement.
Croatia,
Yeah.
I think he's from, or yeah.
Oh, he's
We
from
had
Slovenia.
Slovenia. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it was. So Clement spoke, Jasper spoke.
Yeah.
People from the US, out of the country. We ended up staying almost 4 days, even though it was a 2-day conference. We just kept on meeting and have private meetings, and
Yeah.
it was so awesome. I mean, at the end of the day, it was that you don't have to go rabbit holing into AI, right? Because there's so many different AI programs coming out there, and like 10 of them write blog, but just pick the one that works for you. Have a little bit of a plan of what you want to do with AI. Otherwise, you're going to go in a deep hole of looking. But just just do enough with AI so you're with everyone else and try to get a leg up on everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just pick something that is going to be unique for yourself.
So the thing that get my thought together here. The thing I think when people think about AI, they often think about it more or focus just on creating content with AI, right? So maybe you're creating an article or a blog post or something, maybe even some social media post. But that really is just very limiting, I think. Because some of the stuff, and I'm sure what you guys were exploring at your conference was well beyond that, and really driving processes of automation and stacking prompts on top of each other in order to truly kind of drive down an end result or an end product that you're going to put out, do whatever with, right?
Right, like things like Midjourney. So we had Jeremiah talking about Midjourney, and he was talking about weights. I didn't actually know that there were weights with Midjourney. So like weights is kind of like stacking your prompt. So you put your prompt in, you put dot dot two, and then you put your next prompt in. So Midjourney will read this first part, create it, and then it'll read the second part, create it, and read the third part, create it. You can do the same thing with ChatGPT by weighting. So I didn't actually know that, and I found out a lot about Midjourney. Like, it doesn't understand feelings. Like when you say something like no or a big smile, it just sees the word smile. It doesn't know what big necessarily means, or it doesn't know what it doesn't know the feelings, or you know what I mean. So when you are trying to create a image, if you put no shading or no, do not show feet, or no feet, it's going to show feet because it sees the word feet. It doesn't know what no means. So it helped my prompting in just Midjourney alone, just so that because my prompts were pretty long, and they're like, you don't need to be so long. You just have to be very specific and don't say what you don't
Right.
want.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Yeah. So I mean, it was amazing.
Yeah.
I was gutted you couldn't go, but yeah, it was. I mean, it's June. It's people are getting out of school. It's family
Yeah. I know.
vacation. I
Yeah.
didn't want to wait any longer because AI is such a ever changing thing. There's so many new
Yeah. Yeah.
products coming out. Um, and yeah, that's why we're doing it probably every 6 months, because
Yeah.
even at every 6 months, something changes, and it could be drastic change, you know?
I know. I had to laugh. So, our government decided, like, hey, we better do something about this AI. And so they just approved to do a 18-month long study on the impact of AI that they'll release in like 2025. And
It's
and
going to be so many different changes by then.
I know I had to laugh. I'm like, oh my gosh, in 2 months it'll be completely different. So yeah,
Yeah.
that was funny.
It'll
Um,
be interesting to see if there is any type of, because of 11 labs with voices. It'll be
yeah, yeah,
interesting to see if people are going to try to copyright your voice.
yeah,
Because I can clone anyone's voice. There's no legal thing at the moment. Um, I mean, like, I'm sure you've seen the Tom Brady comedian one, that they got the lawsuit and they had to pull it down, but somebody put
right.
it back up and whatever. Um, I don't know if that type of thing would stand up in court because you're using AI, you're not using their voice. So
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see what happens.
I do think that there's going to be some legality and precedents finally probably coming into law around that, because I can't imagine. There would seem to be a good argument that would say, "Listen, your product is AI generated, but it was built
Mm.
off of my likeness of some, whether it was my voice or whether it was my image." But so
Right.
I don't know.
You would think that they're going to try to copyright voices because, like,
Yeah,
I could make like Neil Patel say, "Hey, I buy Holly Starks's links" or something, when he doesn't buy my links, or him saying something that could be
yeah,
derogatory. Well, I didn't really
right,
say that, so you know what I
right,
mean.
right.
Like it's so loose right now.
Hmm. Is
Yeah,
that even? I don't know, you've got me thinking about that. So, like when all of the metaverse came out, I mean, I was buying up kind of different metaverse type things in order to
like
secure them.
domains.
Similar to what you were just describing, right? So name and some brand stuff.
Yeah,
And I just have it parked, and I don't know, if anything will ever come about it. But I wonder around the same kind of thought what you're running down about copywriting your voice. I wonder, is that even uh, something you can do? I have no idea. That I might have to talk
I
to
think
somebody
that
about that.
they're going to. Right now, it's not something, but I think it's. There's so many different. I don't want to say there's a lot of cloning. There's probably 3 or 4 really good cloning softwares out there. Like, I can put your face, I can put Randy anywhere in anywhere in any picture at
Right.
any time saying anything.
Right.
That's dangerous,
Well,
you
it
know?
is crazy. I know it is dangerous. And I was talking with somebody in one of our earlier episodes, and we are just like, hey, come this coming election cycle, I can only imagine some of the stuff that you'll see on, in some
Yeah.
social posts going on. And you're like, was that real or is that fake? Right? Who
Yeah,
knows what?
if
Uh,
you're if you have somebody who's really good um at Midjourney and using something like Adobe Firefly or Adobe AI, it's really hard to see if it's a real image or not. Like, we have channels that are just food channels, right?
right.
And you cannot tell that it's not a real plate of food. It looks like a real plate of food. Like,
Yeah.
we have channels that we are doing with it's adult. like adult fetishes like feet. We'll just say feet with like nails. You can't tell that it's an AI foot, and we're getting paid $20 a subscription to make AI feet, you know.
I don't even want to go
So
down the path about the foot fetish and
I'm just
stuff,
saying,
but
like,
that's
out of the box, you can't tell. You can't
right.
tell it's not real foot. You can't tell it's not like real barbecue, you know.
I feel sorry for these people. I'm like, you're going to pay $20 for an AI generated foot image. Just go do
Yeah,
it
and
yourself.
OnlyFans is
Save
crazy.
yourself the money. Just go do it yourself. Oh,
Yeah,
Lord. All right.
it's crazy.
Moving on a little bit. So AI is rocking. I want to chat here real quick. Let me drop this down a minute. I know we're traveling. You are traveling, and we are, I think, planning. We're going to be meeting up together at this thing,
Las
right?
Vegas. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I just added
Um,
that in. Yeah.
yeah. Hey, Holly, can you tilt your camera down just a tad? All I got is like the from the sauce is on. There you go. Yeah, tilt it down a little bit. There you go. A little better.
Ooh, see if I can put it in the stereo. Is
Yeah,
that better?
that's better. Yep. Now at least I can see your head.
Sorry.
Yeah. So digital. We'll pitch this for our boys, Craig and Chris and Andrew and the company. We got Digital Unfiltered that is coming up August 22nd,
22nd?
24th. Yes, August 22nd is coming up. Should be a lot of fun. Ton of great speakers. Look at you right there, right underneath the man himself, just right there. I have not heard Ruan speak, so I'm kind of
I haven't
excited
either.
to hear him and see him. Yeah, but a lot of great folks on here, and even me. I think I'm doing a class or something. So a workshop speaker. That's what I'm doing. Yeah, not on the main stage, but so that'll be fun.
I don't even know
So
what I'm
folks,
doing.
that's funny.
I don't even know
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
doing
yeah,
yet.
yeah. So go to. I'll drop the link. People can go and let me copy this over. I'll put it over in the chat here. People can go register for get to the site. Another thing that's coming up is boom, Holly, the next dark AI mastermind, Dallas,
Yes.
Texas.
In
I'll drop
December.
this in December, which is even fabulous. I love going to Dallas. I didn't some people let me tell you, coming from Cleveland to Dallas in December, that's a big improvement. So some people in Dallas like,
That's,
oh,
yeah.
it's so cold and I'm like, no, you come to Cleveland in December. That's cold. So I dropped the link in the chat up there, folks, so you can go check that out. So, Holly, tell us a bit about the what is planned for December in Dallas.
So we're gonna do a little bit different. We're gonna have a mastermind in the afternoon where we're gonna have the speakers. Certain speakers are just gonna do like kind of like a workshop session. Two or three are gonna do it on Friday, and then we're gonna go play mini golf, or not mini golf, sorry, top
Nice.
golf, and probably go to the gun range. Um, and then Saturday and Sunday is the actual conference itself. We have like Ted, Randy is speaking, Chad is speaking, Tristan is speaking, Honey is speaking. I have Chris Palmer. I
Honey
think he's
Witcher.
gonna try
Yeah.
to make
So
it.
yeah, so Ted Kabitis, Honey
Yeah,
Witcher. Yeah.
Craig. Yeah, so some speakers coming in there. It's all going to be unique content, so nothing that they have talked about before. It's not
Yeah.
recorded and it's not streamed, which is kind of nice because people kind of loosen up about what they'll talk about when it's not recorded. And then
Yeah.
Monday is a like boot camp type session where anyone who is going to stay on Monday, we're going to actually build AI um, properties. Either we're going to have blogs that we're going to build, we're going to build
Mm.
YouTube channels, something like that. So you walk away with something that is AI that you can continue to work on. So yeah,
Very fun. Yeah, yeah,
I'm excited. I was really torn between doing it in Vegas and Dallas. I really like Dallas though. I think it
yeah,
gives me a lot more options
yeah,
for,
yeah. Well,
Vegas people just they kind of want to party a little bit too much. You know.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, and I know the hotel that you're doing it in Dallas. We've been to
Yeah, we stayed
SEO
there.
Rockstars. We've been there
Yeah.
before. And there's not a lot of, I mean, you can go get some food and a drink if you need, but that's kind of walking distance. But otherwise,
Yeah.
you got to get in a car and kind of move if you want to go
Yeah.
do something other crazy. So, yeah. And the hotel actually has got a nice bar and you can hang out there, which is always fun. I think that's where the good stuff comes anyway.
Yeah. I think it'll be exciting. It'll be good. I'm not locking anyone in on topics because obviously it's, what, 5 months from now or 4 months from now, and
Right.
there's
Right.
just too much things are changing. So yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's gonna be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you going to, I don't know, on this list, do you have the ability to start listing out the speakers at some point? I know people probably want to go and like, yeah, who's lined up? Yeah.
Yeah, I will be after Chris's event because I didn't want to kind of compete with Chris's and
Right.
for mailings and media and stuff like that. So
Yeah. Yeah.
after his event, then I think what I'm gonna do is like do little mini interviews. Maybe Randy can
Ah,
do little mini interviews together and
yeah. Do
yeah,
some crazy AI business with her, right? Some little
yeah.
crazy mini AI interview. Um, what was I going to ask as well? Around this shoot. Just completely escaped my brain here. Hmm. Oh well. All right, so we'll leave this up there. People can go register for it. Dallas, December 11th, 8th through the 11th. Is the 8th? Is that a Friday? I don't even know what.
It's
Is
a
that a
Friday.
Friday,
Yeah,
December 8th? Okay.
yeah, Friday.
Um,
That's the half day mastermind.
okay. All right. Nice. Yeah, I got to figure out. I think I'm going to bring my son with me. My son's a senior in high school, but he's been doing a bit of work for us in the agency. And his senior year, he's by December rolls around, it's kind of like, if you miss a day here or there, no big deal.
Yeah,
But I
it's
think he would
not.
enjoy the AI stuff. That's where he wants to begin some studies in, I think. So I think he'd enjoy kind of digging some of the AI stuff. So
Yeah.
um, yeah, yeah. And you're also going to Rock Stars, I think, right? Which is
No.
in
So I'm
no,
going to Vid Summit. You know what Vid Summit is?
no. What is it?
Vid Summit.
Vid Summit. I don't know
Yeah,
Vid Summit.
it's VidSummit. So when
Okay.
I first started speaking in 2016, maybe, I made my debut at Vid Summit on the panelist. So Vid Summit is for YouTube and TikTok creators specifically,
Mm.
and they are going to have an AI panelist. It's very mainstream. It's not black hat at all. It's very mainstream. So like people like Mr. Beast will be there.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah. So it's in Dallas, and it's the first week in October. The reason why I'm not going to Rock Stars is because it's too close to Halloween, and now we're grandmas. We need to be here to trick or treat. So I'm not. I'm
I have a
not
hard time.
scheduling for
I
it.
have a hard time calling you grandma, but
I know. I know. I'm not scheduled
that's,
for it, but that doesn't mean that at the last minute I won't
yeah,
pick up a flight. But right now,
yeah.
I'm going to Vid Summit. Yeah.
All right, all right. Yeah, I can't remember the exact dates of Rockstars. It is in the end of October, though. I think
Yeah.
it's right before Halloween.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
like the
yeah, yeah.
27th to the 29th.
Yeah, 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 yeah. but that'll be good too. I think I'm gonna.
Yeah.
I always like going to rock stars.
Dory
So
always has so Dory might be speaking at ours too in December. But
yeah.
she always has a really good event. I always enjoy it. I wanted to go to Vid Summit because they have the AI panelist, and I'm really heavy into
Ah,
YouTube and TikTok again.
yeah.
So for me, I'm going to get more of a beneficial of learning something
All right.
on my video side.
All
So
right. Holly unleashing YouTube once again. Nice.
yes.
and knowing and knowing you, you go all in. I mean, not even just like, yeah, I'm dabbling. It is like, no,
No,
I
it's all
am.
in.
Yeah, I am like. You think, well, all in. No, like massively all in. Yeah, you go a little cray cray. Nice. All right. Before we head out, because I know I gotta get you into your appointment. Little fun stuff. Did you watch the tour, the end
Oh,
of
it was
the
amazing.
tour? Wasn't that
Yeah.
that was like a fabulous, and Clement is from the same little village where Tadej Pogacar is from in
Yeah.
Slovenia. So yeah, he always told me. Are you watching the tour, or did you watch the Tour de Femme? I'm watching
Yeah.
the replays right now because I didn't watch it during the live. But I'm yeah. So you're watching
Yeah,
the
I
women
just
tour?
finished yesterday. I watched the
Oh, okay.
replays too. Yeah.
I've been cautious not to find out who actually won.
Yeah.
I know who I'm rooting for is that Anika. I can't remember her full last name, but the
Is she the
gal
one who won last year?
she won last year. She's like
Okay.
the reigning world champion, and
Yeah.
this is her. She's retiring this year, so I was like, yeah, I hope she goes out. But yeah, she's
Yeah.
a beast. She won the Giro, she won the Velta, she won the Tour last year. She's a world champion this year. I'm like, wow, man, she's incredible. All right,
Yeah.
let's see. So I get.
I was so gutted when we were watching the tour, and then he
Oh,
lost like 3 minutes. I was like, "What are you doing?" Yeah.
yeah, those two stages of the time trial that Toddy lost time on the time trial. I
Yeah.
was like, oh, I can't even believe that. And then the
Yeah.
stage where that was
He just
just like,
blew up.
yeah, the poor dude. I felt so bad for him, but
Yeah.
yeah, but hats off to Jonas. So congrats to him. Let's see. So I'm going to throw out, so people want to connect with you, they can do it on Facebook.
Mhm.
Is always a good thing. Got links to your store in there that you can connect with people on. Go to your store, do any kind of fun stuff there. And all right, I guess that's about it at this point. Thanks for jumping on the show. Appreciate it.
Thanks for inviting me back.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
listen, there's no dogs today. I'm in my car.
No dogs running around in the background. I know. That's great. All right. And next week, folks, I don't have the graphic made up, but next week we've got the one and only Chris Walker, founder and CEO, whatever his title is exactly,
All right.
but founder of the Legit platform. And so Chris is an amazing guy and just an incredible entrepreneur with some tremendous thoughts on business and just how to keep rolling. So jump on with Chris Walker next week. I think you'll love it. He's not on very many things, so this is a rare showing for Chris. So this will be good. All right, Holly. Thanks, man. Good luck to you in
All
your
right.
appointment. Do well, and we will see you in a few weeks at Digital Unfiltered. And all the best. Talk to you later.
Talk to you later.
All right. Thanks, Holly.